What's up, everybody? And today we're checking out British fighter jet intercepts Russian plane. Then this happened. This is by Navy Media. I will leave a link down below to the original video and the original channel. Please go over there, give them a like, give them a subscribe, all that good stuff. Really important that you do that stuff. We're going to support the military community and, yeah, send them some love. So if you haven't already, go over to Navy Media. They make some really good videos. We've watched quite a few of their videos on this channel now, and I genuinely really enjoy them. So link down below to the OG video. Before we get started though, as always, check out Chug. 10% off, link down below for the best drinking vessel in the world. These things are phenomenal. Handmade here in the UK by a small business. Free customization, free bag, 10% off. Get yourself one for Christmas. There's still time. They are a fantastic bit of kit. Treat yourself. You know, the inside can come out. So you can put this part in the dishwasher. Protecting your wood. Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. Also, if you haven't seen, especially here in the UK, especially here in the UK, I'm trying to get through this as quick as I can. People say it takes on too long. I'm trying, guys. I made a drink. Utilizing functional mushrooms, a healthy energy drink. I'm very excited about it. And the mission is to get people outside. It's as simple as that. If you love the outdoors, you're going to want to check out our content here on Instagram and also on the YouTube channel, Drink Morale. Tastes delicious. Anyway, go buy yourself some Morale. Go buy it. Go buy yourself a pack of Morale. Do it. Go on. I dare you. I dare you. Let's shut up. Let's see what they've got to say with this.
At exactly 10:50 a.m. on June 13th, 2025, radar screens across Poland lit up like a Christmas tree. A Russian IL-20M spy plane had crossed the invisible line. Not just skimming the border, this one was inside Polish airspace.
Classic
2
Russia.
full kilometers deep. Within seconds, the red alert hits the NATO Air Command. Scramble orders are issued, engines roar to life. 2 British Typhoon fighter jets stationed under NATO's air policing mission are airborne within minutes. This isn't another patrol, this is a direct response. The IL-20 is flying low and slow over the Baltic Sea, pretending like nothing happened.
We've seen this quite a lot where Russia do this. At what point do we just start shooting them down? We give them a warning, and if they don't turn around immediately, give them like a 5-minute warning to turn around. And if they don't start changing their course, they're going to get shot down. Because Russia are playing games like this all the time, aren't they?
No communication, no response to radio hails, just steady, silent flight. Let's be clear here. This was not a navigational error.
No.
The IL-20 doesn't get lost. It's packed with surveillance gear, radar, signal sniffers, and high-resolution cameras. Its job is to gather intelligence. And this time, it chose to dip straight into NATO territory. From Warsaw to Brussels, everyone's watching. Inside the RAF cockpits, adrenaline is running high. They're closing in fast. They know the rules. Intercept, identify, and escort, but don't provoke. Still, all it takes is one wrong move.
At what point, though, do we start punishing them for constantly doing this shit? They're doing it in our waters, in British waters all the time. It happens all the time. Russian vessels entering British waters. Happens all the time. Happened when I was in the Marines. Happened when my dad was in the Navy. Like, happens all the time. So at what point are they going to start getting punished for it?
And this routine mission becomes international headlines.
They need to start being held
One
accountable.
British pilot radios in. Visual on target, no response, still inbound. Seconds later, the IL-20 makes a move. Not the one they expected. What happens next turns a simple intercept into something way more complicated. Just days before this incident, on May 27th and again on June 5th, British Typhoons were scrambled for the exact same reason. Russian surveillance planes creeping too close to Polish skies. But this time it wasn't too close, it was inside. The aircraft involved, the IL-20M, isn't your average Russian military plane. NATO calls it Coot A. It's essentially a flying ear, designed to listen, scan, and record everything from troop movements to radar frequencies.
The truth is, they're not going in a couple miles to actually get any intel. As far as I'm aware, they might pick up something here or there, but they pretty much know everything that's going on within them first few miles anyway. They're doing it just to stoke the fire. We know that. We're well aware of that. But they do it anyway. And unfortunately, NATO has constantly been pushed over, and we never bite back, ever. We never bite back.
And it doesn't just loiter around for fun. It collects data. Valuable data.
Data.
Where did it come from?
Data.
Likely Kaliningrad. A small but heavily fortified chunk of Russian territory sandwiched between Poland and Lithuania. Kaliningrad is like Moscow's spy nest on the Baltic, crammed with missiles, radar outposts, and intelligence aircraft. For NATO, especially Poland, this is nothing new. But today's breach was deeper, bolder, and more dangerous. The skies over Eastern Europe have been anything but quiet since Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022. NATO boosted patrols, forward-deployed fighter jets, and hardened its radar coverage. This means that every time a Russian aircraft takes off from Kaliningrad, somebody's watching.
The truth is, that happens anyway. The moment any military aircraft gets taken off from Russia, from mainland Russia, NATO are aware of it. Like, if you don't think at this point that we've got satellites absolutely everywhere monitoring everything, then I think you're just oblivious to the technology of this world, aren't you? Especially America. America have satellites all over the place. In fact, you can't look at the night sky anymore without seeing a satellite. Mostly the Starlinks, right, at this point. It's the Starlink from Elon Musk. But for the most part, you can't look in the sky at night these days without seeing a satellite of some sort. You don't think that we know every single aircraft that is moved? Of course they do.
And more often than not, somebody is chasing. The question isn't if these flights will happen again, it's when one of them won't back off. Because this time, the IL-20 kept flying deeper and deeper, ignoring calls. The RAF had no idea if it was armed, bait, or a probe for something bigger.
If it's not responding, though, at what point do we just say, no, that's it? Like, we've told you many times to not come into our airspace. At what point do we just shoot it down?
And yet the orders were clear. Identify, shadow, escort out. Simple in theory, but theory doesn't always survive contact with Russian airspace violations. At 10:57 a.m., 2 RAF Typhoons sliced through the Polish sky. They're flying out of Malbork Air Base, just minutes from the Baltic Sea and even fewer from trouble. These jets aren't sightseeing, they're on QRA, Quick Reaction Alert, and right now, that reaction is locked onto a Russian spy plane that's way too far from home. Built off the IL-18 airframe, it's modified for SIGINT and ELINT missions, signal and electronic intelligence. Its job is to eavesdrop on everything. Communications, radar signatures, air defense signals, you name it. It's not fast, but it's persistent. It can loiter for hours along borders, sucking up data. Its usual tactic? Fly just outside of NATO airspace and pretend it's minding its own business until it suddenly isn't. Now, switch views. The Eurofighter Typhoon is the RAF's air superiority fighter. Fast, deadly, and designed for both speed and precision.
When are we starting to see this Gen 5 aircraft come out? Gen 6 aircraft? When is the... Oh, I forgot what it's called. Let me have a look really quick. European Gen 6 fighter jet. I forgot what it's called. Project Tempest. With Italy and Japan aiming for 2035. And then it's going to be adopting the French, German, Spanish Future Combat Air System called FCAS, which is centers on new generation fighter, basically, and it supports drone and cyber warfare. Interesting. And the UK, obviously. The Tempest is part of the UK, obviously. And it's led by BAE Systems, Rolls-Royce, and Leonardo UK, MBDA UK. So it says it's going to be by mid-30s, 2030s.
Twin engines,
Ages
speed
off.
Mark II, capable of climbing to 55,000 feet in minutes. But this mission isn't about showing off, it's about control. These Typhoons are equipped with Pirate infrared search and track systems and the Captor radar, allowing them to lock onto targets without even turning on their own radar. If they choose, it's stealthy, smart, and fast. But here's the catch. They're not here to fire. Under NATO's air policing rules, engagement is the absolute last resort. So the INTERCEPT works like this. Radar first picks up the intruder. Ground command issues a scramble order. Fighters take off and intercept visually. They confirm identity, monitor behavior, and escort if needed. It's a chess game at 20,000 feet. And every player knows their pieces. The IL-20 might look outdated, but it plays a dangerous game. Testing response times, probing radar strength, collecting NATO patterns. Think of it as Moscow's flying thermometer, taking NATO's temperature one mission at a time. What's the RAF's job here? Well, it's to keep calm, fly smart, and send a message. We see you, don't push it. It's not glamorous, it's not Top Gun. It's real-world military pressure balancing on the edge of a no-fly incident. And it happens more often than most people realize. This time, the gear worked, the pilots performed, and the rules held firm. But what happens when that IL-20 doesn't turn around?
So it did turn around. Obviously, that's what they're getting to here. But now we think we're going to get into the idea of what if it doesn't? What if next time it doesn't? This was this year. What happens if next year there's 3 or 4 of these? And they just push it that little bit more. Like, what do we do?
When it's not an old surveillance plane, but something faster or armed. That's where this calm, cold chess match could become something else entirely.
Yeah.
For nearly 10 minutes, the IL-20 held its course.
10
Still no
minutes?
response. Still inside Polish airspace.
10
soaking
minutes?
up everything it could. Radar signals, radar sweeps, even the flight patterns of the intercepting Typhoons. And then, it turned. No warning, no contact, just a wide controlled bank northward, right back towards international airspace. It wasn't panic, it wasn't sloppy, it was timed. Exactly 2 kilometers in. Exactly when NATO's reaction was fully deployed.
Yeah, I think that takes the piss, I do. I think they're really taking the piss there. I'd love to know what you think in the comments. Do you think that's too much? Do you think we're too lenient with this shit? They're not even listening to our warnings, they're just getting to the marker that they want to get to and then turning around.
Almost like someone in Kaliningrad was watching the whole thing in real time, checking a box. Yes, NATO's response time is 6 minutes. But this twist doesn't end there. As the IL-20 exits Polish airspace, it doesn't head straight home. Instead, it begins a slow loop, just outside NATO territory, hovering near the edge. Legally, it's now in international airspace. Tactically, it's still in Poland's face. The RAF jets stay with it, though, now shadowing rather than intercepting. There's no radio chatter, there's no sudden moves, just quiet pressure at high altitude.
Makes it worse when they're not even speaking back. They're not even acknowledging what they're doing.
Back at NATO Air Command, analysts are already logging every second of this encounter.
But Russia are that bully that are constantly stoking the fire, and the moment they get punched back, they say that they're the victim. That's what they are. And it pisses me off so much.
The IL-20's route, how long it stayed, how close it came to key radar station. To the untrained eye, this was just a brief border incident that ended peacefully. But to military eyes, this was a calibrated test. It was a move much bigger in strategy. Because here's the thing, these Russian flybys don't happen alone. They're often paired with cyber probing, satellite adjustments, or naval activity. It's coordinated, layered pressure. Today's twist wasn't just the incursion, it was the restraint, the quiet withdrawal. Because when you test an enemy, sometimes the most valuable intel comes from not what they say, but how fast they move, how close they get, and how long they hold the line. This time, the IL-20 turned back on its own. Next time, that turn might come a little later, or not at all.
This also, I'm watching this after a news article broke on Sky News last night or the night before about how they were saying that young men and women in the UK need to start preparing in case we need to go to war, in case they need to be brought up. There's a lot of people who were commenting saying there is no way I'd fight for this country. No way, because the country doesn't care about us. And I get that. Like, part of me is like, I've got a son and a daughter. I was in the military, and I left the military and they didn't give a shit about me. They didn't give a shit about my mental health. They told me straight up to my face that I didn't have depression when I knew I did because I was in a very, very bad place. And they just didn't give a shit about me. And then for them to come knocking on my door and be like, Luke, you need to come back up because we're kicking off in war. It's hard for me to adjust. Fast forward 10 years, and they come knocking on my door being like, Luke, your son needs to go to war. And I'm going to be like, what have you done for me? Like, it's hard for me to justify that. And then I see shit like this. And it's like I understand why we need to do it, because Russia are pissing everyone off and they're stoking the fire. It's annoying that why can't we all just be happy with what we've got? Why do countries always need to be more? Why do these leaders just need big egos and want to have more? It blows my mind. Like, everyone's got their own country. Make their country as best they can possibly do it and stop pissing off other people. It's so frustrating to us, the common folk who watch this, who get dragged into this shit, isn't it? It's us that get dragged into this shit, and it's people, it's government officials, government leaders, country leaders that sit there behind the offices, behind the desk, with pencils, just saying, okay, send these people here, send these people there. Russia invading Ukraine because they just want more. They've got the biggest country in the world, bear in mind, but they want more because Putin's got a massive ego. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
What happened over Poland wasn't an isolated event. It's part of a pattern, and it's one that's been tightening since 2022. Russian aircraft from Kaliningrad, like the IL-20, frequently fly along the edges of NATO airspace. Sometimes they cut it pretty close. Sometimes they cross the line, but it's never random. These flights are strategic. They're probes. Every one tests NATO's response time, the air defense coverage, radio protocol, and even pilot behavior. It's like shaking the fence to see where it rattles and how fast the guard dogs bark. This tactic isn't new, but it is escalating. That's
the thing, it's not new. They've been doing this for years. Like years. But it's getting more and more. I mean, we see it. The whole world, the tension of the world feels like it's getting more and more, doesn't it?
Scale invasion of Ukraine, NATO has increased its eastern presence dramatically. F-35s in Romania, Patriots in Slovakia, Typhoons in Poland. The message is clear, we're watching. And Russia? Well, they're watching back. Every time an IL-20 flies too close, it's building a library of NATO's playbook. Which radar comes online first? How fast do the fighters scramble? Do they engage or do they just follow? It's a psychological operation with wings. And the risk? Miscalculation. All it takes is one pilot misreading a maneuver, an overzealous radar operator, one misinterpreted turn. That's when what starts as a routine intercept becomes an international emergency. Even Poland's military said it plainly. This was a provocative action designed to test NATO's readiness.
But the thing is, you can never read Russia either, because they're constantly saying the UK is the biggest threat, NATO's the biggest threat. They're constantly threatening us. And then Putin did a press conference a couple of days ago, or maybe it was yesterday or today, and he was saying how he has no intentions on invading NATO. And it's like he says shit. In fact, when he says he has no intentions on it, that makes me worry even more, because for the past 10 years, 20 years, he's been saying he's going to attack, and then he'll use nukes or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
And they're right. This wasn't an accident. It was a signal. But NATO doesn't just sit back. These intercepts send messages in return. We're ready, we'll meet you at the line, and we won't blink first. Behind the scenes, these missions feed directly into NATO's defense planning. Every intercepted aircraft gets analyzed, every route gets logged, every deviation gets studied. It's not glamorous, but it's critical. Because the real battle right now isn't missiles, it's data. Information about how the other side reacts, defends, and maneuvers.
Is this AI?
It's a silent war in the skies, fought with sensors and patience. Today, the IL-20 left quietly, but the game isn't over.
Because I feel like they're just repeating a lot of stuff that they've already said. I feel like this might be AI.
It's just getting smarter. When the IL-20 finally turned back, the RAF Typhoons peeled off after confirming it had cleared Polish airspace.
You already said
Mission
that.
complete on paper. But the real work starts now. NATO's Allied Air Command.
All right, I'm going to end the video there. It's practically ended, and it's just repeating the same shit over and over again. Good video, though. I will leave a link down below to the original video. Go over there, give it some love. Listen, I think that Russia have been playing this game for a long, long time. They know exactly what they're doing, and they need to start being held accountable for their actions. It's as simple as that. And I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with that? Do you think Russia's not a threat? Do you think they are a threat? Do you think that there should be mandatory service for young people these days? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know your thoughts. Check out Chug, 10% off, link down below. And also go buy yourself some morale if you haven't already. Other than that, I love you all. Stay safe. Goodbye.